it still looked fine to me, but everybody said it wasn't working. So, in case you missed it, I've been doing Q&A. Um, I am hanging out at Toyota waiting for my tires. Thought I'd do some Q&A. Also kicking off my sale. Um, I'm not sure if this is even working. So somebody, if anyone shows up, let me know in the chat that you can see and or hear me. Sorry about that. They might have kicked me off the internet. Maybe I'm using too much internet. Okay, I see some people showing up. Let me know. Is it working? Is it working? I'm using their Toyota internet. Maybe they said no more streaming for you. Hey, Nikki Rock. So yeah, okay. So I've been streaming for the last hour, and then it just stopped working. So I'm back again. Um, I'm just here to hang out, answer questions. So what questions you got related to music production? If you check the description, there is a link to a page called it's homestudiocorner.com/sale. You'll find a brand new masterclass there called Compression Demystified, my gift. You'll find details about my new plugin called Gilder which is on sale this week through Wednesday. And then you'll find everything else, just about everything else I make is also on sale um, through Wednesday. So if you've been thinking about having me help you, now's the time. Go grab it. All right. So what questions do y'all have? We'll continue. Thanks to Will. Hey, thanks to those of you who came over from the last one. I don't know what happened. Everything looked fine on my end. Y'all, I could see your chat saying it's all not working, which is funny. Um, Andre says, in the subject of mastering, one of my songs sounds right to my ears. It compares well to mainstream stuff while inside Studio One, but on my private YouTube, it loses a ton of volume. Any ideas? I mean, you could be exporting it wrong. You could be making it too loud, and YouTube will turn it down. So all the platforms have their own loudness penalty. So if your thing is at like -5 lufs, it's going to turn it down to -12 or 10 or 14 or whatever that platform is set to do. So there's no way around that. So yeah, I don't know. I just watched that masterclass for compression and it was awesome. Well, thank you. I thought it was too. Yeah, so if lufs is at -7, YouTube's going to turn it down because they're trying to prevent things from being too loud for their listeners. So that's it. Which means if you like the way it sounds at -7, great, leave it alone. If you don't, and you're just pushing it louder to just get it louder, you can maybe go back a little bit quieter and it might sound better and it won't matter because the platforms are going to turn it down anyway. -14, to me, -14 is too quiet. I like to go for like -12 to -10-ish, but generally whatever sounds good on the song. Um, Nikki says you own your own plugin, must be proud. Backstory. Yeah, friend of mine started a plugin company and he was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about making a plugin?" And I said, "Yeah, but I always thought it would be too difficult." But his platform kind of lets me build it to the back end of like how it sounds and to tweak it and to say what the controls are. And then I can work with a designer to make it look pretty on the front end, which is what it had to be because I was not going to go find a developer and figure all that myself. So they handle a lot of that, the installers, the licensing, the registration, all of that. And then I can just design it and make it sound cool, and they handle the rest, which is nice. You got the Gilder Vox, Lyle. It's good, man. I made what I wanted to hear on vocals in a plugin. That's the only thing I can think to do. Like, I'm not going to try to recreate some vintage piece of gear. I'm just going to make something that sounds like what I want it to sound like, and it did. And it was cool. So I just made another one that's called Gilder Comp. It's just a butter. It's my butter compression. Just the name butter comp was taken. So it's a one knob compressor that's subtle and kind of just makes whatever you put it on sound better without going aggressive. Yeah, I'll probably make more. I think I would like to make, if I can figure out how to do it in a way that feels really good, some sort of mastering kind of a plugin that has like limiting, maybe just a basic EQ. That's kind of my favorite flavor of like the way EQ works. I'm not sure though, because I don't want to try to just recreate something that exists. So like the Pro EQ in Studio One is pretty great. I have no complaints with it. So I don't want to just make a version of that that's not really adding anything. So um also I thought about doing one for voiceover just because I do voiceover so much. Um, but that doesn't really make a ton of sense. I could sell that to like a voiceover crowd, which would be good, but it's not really the home studio corner crowd. And I'd like to do a reverb if I can find a way to make just a really cool sounding reverbs. That seems fun to me. Work with Ian. Nope, not on this. It's a different company. Channel strip. Yeah, channel strip could be cool. Call it Gilder strip. Just kidding. Can't call it that. How much do you typically charge for these plugins? It's you can click the link and go see. It's 49 bucks. Right now they're on sale, 50% off. You can get both of them for 49. How about that? Man, there are so many people here at Toyota. If you happen to be in Cool Springs area of Franklin, come say hi. I've got a chair. Come sit right here and hang out. Is gravity real, or is it just an illusion that is created by us moving through the bending of time around mass? Yes. And are EQ and compression the most important tools in mixing? I would say they're the second and third most important. The first most important is the level, the fader. And more important than all of those is how you recorded it. A great mix can't happen if you don't record it right, get it right. Source. Hey, how many times have I said that in my life? What exactly is a channel strip? So it's a series of effects. So like on a channel on a mixing console, there's a strip for each channel, and that strip has a lot of them have like an EQ and a compressor. That's it. Channel strip has generally like a outboard channel strip is a preamp and EQ compression, or one or both of those. That's generally what a channel strip is. Plug-in is generally the EQ. The preamp part doesn't really matter, but it's usually EQ and compression in different combinations, different styles, all that. That's all it is. One plug-in with multiple sounds in it versus separate plugins for each. I gotta sneeze. Photobomb. Oh, really? You're lying. That's funny. Oh, check out my pen. Look at that. It's made out of titanium? No, wait. It's Damascus titanium. Look at that. Isn't that cool? They like melt it and twist it up. It's like a little bolt action pen, like a rifle. Anyway, that's my pen. Studio One has a channel strip. Yeah, and Fat Channel is a channel strip. And you can change out the modules. So you can change out the compressor, change out the EQ, swap the order if you want. It also has a channel strip that's not very good, but yeah, Fat Channel's cool. Does it write upside down and underwater? No, it is not a space pen. Although you could put a space pen refill inside because this adjusts the length, so you can have all sorts of. It can support like 200 different types of refills, which is cool. So I can change what pen I'm using without changing what pen I'm using. You feel me? This is how we do it. It's playing right now. I don't know if you can hear it. I learned to mix with me. Oh, you mean the series on my channel? That's fun. When it comes to distributing your music, who do you recommend? I mean, up until right now, I've always just recommended DistroKid, but I'm that thing with Ryan Asker and the copyright thing. I don't like that. Um, yeah, the reason I use DistroKid instead of TuneCore is because I started using DistroKid before the TuneCore integration with Studio One, and I don't have any need until I have a reason to. I don't want to change because I have to take it down from one and then upload everything to the other. I don't care to do that. Yeah, Mike, if you look in the community, he posted about the other day. He uploaded his new album and DistroKid's system flagged one of his songs as having used the same sound as another song, which it didn't. He listened to both, couldn't even hear how they were similar. He appealed it and they were like, yeah, you can file like a counterclaim or you can just re-upload. And so I think he did the re-upload thing, which meant he had to pay again for some of the X that he bought. It's using AI to try to prevent copyright infringement, which is fine. But then you need a human to say, "Oh yeah, we got that one wrong. You're good." Um, yeah. And I really appreciate everything you put out on YouTube. It's very useful. I've truly learned a lot of things from you. My recordings sound a lot better. Yes. Glad to hear it. Are you gonna do more vids on pre-production? I really enjoy that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this whole like going through the process of making a song selfishly is just more fun because I'm like making music and then I can kind of teach you around what I'm making. Um, yeah, so I imagine I may do a lot of that, especially if you like it. Who's your favorite producer ever? I'm bad at knowing who produced what. I just don't study it. But Butch Vig is pretty great. I mean, Rick Rubin is just really fun to listen to. He's got such a he's such an interesting person and has worked on he's like not a one trick pony who only does rock or whatever. Like he's worked on everything from Jay-Z to that that Johnny Cash thing to all the anyway. Hmm. Now they're playing Moulin Rouge. Me, baby, Moulin. Any new stare down songs in the works? We've got one that I wrote like a year ago that they like and they want to record. So we got to like stare down if I it. Um, but we just haven't gotten together. Be something over the holidays. What are your thoughts on AI songs? I don't care. We were talking about this earlier. I think I I won't want to make songs with AI because I enjoy the process of making songs. That to me, the goal isn't really to, sorry, the goal isn't to have a finished song only. The goal is to like, what makes the finished song so valuable to me is all the process that I went through to make it. So if I skip this part and just have this, that's not as valuable to me. I like having made something, right? It's like if you hand build a bookshelf versus buying one, which one do you appreciate more, the hand built one? So I got nothing against people who want to buy a bookshelf and people want to build it, but I'm going to want to build it. It's the crap. Yeah. So I think AI, sort like if I'm a business and I need some music for this video I'm making and I don't really care, I just need something that sounds cool. That I feel like AI stuff is super helpful for that, right? If I'm a songwriter and I wrote a song today and I got to pitch it to the label tonight, Suno might be helpful to make that happen fast. But if speed's not an issue and I just want to, and it's just about the art, then I don't feel like AI is as useful. Although for coming up with ideas and inspiration, it might be super cool for that as well. I'm not mad about it though. I'm not like the cranky old dude who's like, it's not how it used to be. I think technology is cool. And I'm probably late to the game usually in using it, but it can be really interesting. See, I'm not I don't want any part made with AI. I don't go that far. I think that's closed minded. I think there are things about AI that are interesting. I use AI to like come up with ideas and to flesh out like video ideas or scripts and things like that. I think that's interesting. I think it could maybe be a potential interesting songwriting partner. Might think of a rhyme that I didn't think of that really takes the song to the next level. That's interesting. I'm not saying you have to or that I would need to use it. But I wouldn't be closed. I wouldn't be so closed off to it that you kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's my take. I feel that they're using is more full listening. Problem comes in when it's in high demand to be performed live. Yeah, I think the more and more you can create things with AI, and less when we see something online, the less and less we're sure that that's actually real. I think that's just going to make the ones who can perform live all the more impressive, right? Like, is a like a meta example. if AI got so good that it could do this, like it looks like me and it answers your questions in a way that's valuable, that would be really interesting. I don't think it can. I think it could I think I could have AI make a Joe Gilder video, new video every day, but going live and answering your questions on the cuff, demonstrating my expertise in that sense and also personality and connection. I don't think AI will ever be able to do that part. Good information, yes. But being able to say, hey, Mike Obaugh, who lives in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, and he came to my event in on my anniversary 3 years ago, and who came to the second challenge that I did, right? AIs maybe could have all that information, but also the connection of I see Mike Obaugh in the chat and I have like all these thoughts of all these memories with Mike Obaugh, and AI won't have that. You know what I mean? So like I am quote unquote being impressive right now by being able to answer your questions on the fly without a script. I think so like playing music live is the same thing. Like, oh, they make a good record, but they can sing really well. How many times have you heard that? Oh wow, they sound great live. It's almost surprising now. So I think the live performer is gonna be the king moving forward. That's my take. Making a real song better than AI is a challenge, just like making a homemade burger taste better than a Big Mac. It's true. It's totally true. And then the question is, what is better mean? To me, better is makes me proud. I won't be as proud of it if I didn't make it. You know what I mean? I'm not proud of McDonald's for their Big Mac. Um, would you also have to run into Carrie for those AI when it comes to doing things live type of copyright? You mean like if I do an AI song live, copyright? I have no idea. Sounds like something AI would say. Blink if you're real. I am very real. Would an AI show you his bald head? No, probably would. I can't. How do I prove to you that I'm not AI? That's going to be an interesting question in like 20 years. Proof that, like, is there like a thing we'll use to like prove that this is real and not fake? No idea. Oh no, Jameson Nathan Jones. I thought Joe Gilder took Fridays off. I did. I'm getting tires. I'm at Toyota. I'm off. But I had the option of reading a book, journaling, which I love to do. By the way, this book is fantastic. Brendan Burchard. If you're into like motivation, which you're probably not, but if you are, this is surprisingly good. Very thought provoking. Anyway, I could have finished this book, but I wanted to go live because I can. I think honestly, like big picture, I think live interaction is a big part of moving forward for the reasons we already talked about, but also like the connection piece. Like that's why doing these challenges that I'm doing are so fun because it's like us in a room on a Zoom call, really, where we're like hanging out and can answer and ask questions. And like, as close to having a seminar in a room, but I can invite the whole planet if I want to. AI will never understand dry sarcasm. That's true. AI would not do well in Scotland, would it? Since most humans don't get it. That's right. AI is that super smart guy who doesn't get the joke. Joe, you got to tell me which picture contains stoplights. Right. That's how I tell you I'm not AI. Impressed you can read that book with backwards text. It's all backwards for you? Well, I don't like backwards. I don't have a way of changing that. Oops. I can turn the camera off. I can flip it around so you can see that dude over there. But I can't. Uh, by the way, y'all, Johnny Lipsham, the resident Studio One expert, does Q&A streams every week. 2 of them. Make sure y'all subscribe to Johnny. And you get to hear his lovely Scottish accent, which is delightful. Yeah, live performance will be a big thing in the future. I think so too. Raise your right hand. Well, now I don't know which one's right for you because this is right, but that's oh boy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Anything else, y'all? The questions are dying down. If you're just joining us, I'm just answering questions, just hanging out. And if you're interested in buying something that I sell, there's a link in the description to go find something. Go get yourself something, including a new plugin. It's a compressor. I know what you're thinking. Compressor. I hardly know her, but here it is. Um, it was backwards. Um, Live churches, no autotune, no tracks, no extras, are more wholesome from my experience. But I am not 100% sure where we should draw the line. Yeah. I mean, churches have been using tracks for decades, right? Some. Um, that's a yeah, it's like a personal like my church is very like there's no in-ears. We're not using tracks. It's musicians in a room playing. And it is what it is. Is it the best musical experience ever? No. Is it good? Yeah. Does it connect with people? Yeah, I think so. Is it the high production that a lot of people like? No. And that I don't villainize that. I think it's fine. I've been in bigger churches where it's a bigger production and that's fun too, honestly. Um, as far as where to draw the line, like, I don't know. Worship's interesting because there's maybe feels like a little more of a pressure to make it authentic, whatever that means. Um, but some tracks, I mean, if you have a small, like a church that doesn't have a drummer, so they play along to drum tracks, like that's if that helps, so they can do some songs they couldn't do otherwise. It's kind of interesting. But I would be looking around for the drummer if I was there, at least the first couple of songs. Left stage. So this looks like my right hand to you with the watch on it. See, that's a dead giveaway. And the ring on my right hand, that doesn't work. Um, Good thing we had the show page just in time for the pandemic lockdowns. Yep. Was that version 5? I remember doing like the worst timing ever. We rolled out show page during COVID. Obviously, it was all planned and ready to go. But like, hey, you want to do live shows? What's that exactly? Do you always look for the chorus first in a session? Do you start doing melodies? Just take me. Um, so like chord progression that excites me, then I start trying to figure out a melody to go along with it. I don't know if it's a chorus or a verse until later. You sometimes get a feel like this feels like a chorus, this feels like a verse. I don't try to start with one. I just start. And so sometimes that start is the first line of the song. Sometimes that's a chorus. Sometimes it's the bridge. And sometimes what you thought was a bridge or thought was a chorus ends up being a verse and vice versa. But yeah, it's difficult for sure. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. Yeah, AI can't do compressor. I hardly know her. 100%. That's the test. Okay. That's how you'll know it's me. You ask me a question like compressor. I've never even met her. Speaking of events, have you pondered any more on the next one? Yeah, I've pondered. So one idea, Foo Fighters is playing. Excuse me. Foo Fighters is playing Nashville on August 15th, and I thought about buying a bunch of tickets and making it an event. So that's a Saturday. What if it was like a 3-day event? We spent like Friday, like 2 or 3 day event. We spend like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday together in a studio or something, and then we go to this Foo Fighter show that night. It'd be fun, but it would be a small number of people, and it'd probably be expensive to make it all work. It'd probably be like an all inclusive, like the hotels included, the travels included, the food's included. We make it this just kind of fun event, and also I would include earplugs so we don't go deaf at the show. But I've never seen Foo Fighters. As big of a fan as I am, I've never seen them, so I got to go either way. But that's the part about being an entrepreneur is and go to the show. Kind of like Will when I did that session for Fighter. I was like, I need to book a session. I was like, "Oh, I could sell tickets and invite people," and then I didn't, and that was fun too. But it was more work, but it was fun. We have a little more production, live orchestra. Ooh, live orchestra at church. That's fun. I like that a lot. I love the initial creation process. Please show more of that. I think people benefit. You got it. Also, if you want, go below my simple music production system, which is my trilogy of my flagship courses. One's on recording, one's on mixing, one's on mastering. That recording one is all kinds of that. If you like it, you'll love that. I take one of my songs and I produce it 3 different ways from scratch. You get to watch the whole process, small, medium, and large productions. I'll do more on YouTube too, but that's a great place to go. You get to see the whole process. And actually, then once it's recorded, go to the mixing course and you'll learn how to mix that song. Then go to the mastering course, you'll learn how to master that song. It's pretty fun. I just got excited. How many times do you rewrite a song before you record it? I've heard you say just because you wrote a song doesn't mean you should record that song. So yeah, I don't do a ton of rewriting. Like I'll write it, and if it's great, yes. And if it's not, then I just don't. I just move on from it. I don't feel the pressure to record it. So I don't feel the pressure to rewrite it and then record it. It's just like, eh, that was fun. See you later. I'm fine with that. That's part of the process. I need to write some meh songs to keep the creative juice. I keep saying creative juices. It grosses me out. To keep the creativity going, and then I'll eventually come upon one that I love. You taught me to just use the simple plugins I already have and really learn how to use them. So why are you making plugins that don't really teach me anything, but instead let me skip the hard stuff? I appreciate that question. Because A, it sounded fun. B, I thought it would be a good learning experience for people and also maybe make the process a little bit easier. Um, but yeah, the cool thing is you don't have to buy the plugin, so you can choose not to. But if you're like, I really like the way Joe teaches, I like his vocal tone, I like how he was able to get that tone in a plugin. You can still learn a whole lot from the way I even set up the plugin. The way I think about mixing is like the way I think about mixing vocals is that plugin. So you can learn a crap load about what's important on a vocal, whether you just do the free trial of the plugin and then never buy it. I don't care if you buy it. To me, it sounded like fun and it helps me get my vocal mixes better because really what you want to know, what you're developing are your ears, not your hands. You're not trying to get really good at like dialing in presets or even really good at mixing. You want to get really good at hearing things and then making the necessary changes to make it come out of the speakers. That's what's important. So whether you use stock plugins to do that or fancy plugins or something in between, what I'm really teaching you is how to listen and how to achieve that result. So the tool doesn't really matter. And if the tool doesn't matter, which that's what I've been teaching all these years, I haven't been teaching don't get plugins. I've been teaching the tool doesn't matter nearly as much as the ears and the mind and the way you think about and approach your mixes. So you can do that with stock plugins. You can do that with fancy plugins. You can do that with a big SSL console. You can do that with anything. So to answer your question, that's how I'm able to make plugins and not feel like I'm doing anything disingenuous because I'm not. I'm helping you hear things better. So I provide tools to help you make better music. A lot of those tools have been teaching you. And then when you learn from me, you can apply that using a stock EQ or you can use Gilder Vox. It's your choice. That's what's so fun. But no, I appreciate the cynicism because I'm naturally a pretty cynical person too. And thank you for the question. Johnny likes to recycle things as he writes. Heavy Kev, you partied up with Taylor Hawkins in 2015 at a Rush concert. Bro, what a great memory you got to have. Was such a monster drummer. And yeah, the plugins make it easier. That's right. JL good. It's just if you know the sound that you want and the plugin gets you to that sound quicker, because you still have to know what sound you want, regardless of the tool. So if the tool gets you there faster, great. Just like using a DAW is easier than using a tape machine. It's just gets you there quicker. Do you have any videos on using a DAW to simply program drums? I don't have room for a live kit. I'm mostly on record. No, because I hate programming drums. I'd rather hire a drummer or have someone else program the drums. I hate it. I don't want to do it. So no. Isn't your plugin just how you use stock plugins? In a sense, yeah, it's getting the same sound that I would get with 6 stock plugins, but it's just 1 plugin. Um, if that's what you're asking. So if you're asking, is it worth it because you could just get it with stock plugins? That's up to you. Sounds like to you, you shouldn't get this plugin. But for people who would like 1 plugin that does all those jobs very quickly because they value that speed or that simplicity, that's who it's for. For the person who doesn't want to spend any money and only wants to use free stuff, that's great. That's why I teach what I teach too. It doesn't matter what tools you use. You can get great sound either way. Since watching your channel, I've gained a lot from you and just learning the basics. Man, the basics are where it's at. You come across somebody who's like not teaching you the basics, I wonder if they're not really serving you well. Not saying there's not advanced stuff to learn, but a lot of times when I'm learning or teaching advanced stuff, it's actually just a version of man. This dude just walked in who was like, "Shit, he's an impressively muscular man. The Gilder sound. Um, the Gilder sound. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. I was distracted by muscular dude. Um, and I'm almost out of cappuccino. That sip was not worth it. Blah. It was free. Without the basics, you can't get there from here. That's a good way of saying it. You can't. It's like, yeah, you got to learn how to turn a double play because that's important. But you also just got to learn how to throw and catch and how to be in the right position and how to like stay down on the ground ball, keep the glove on the ground so it doesn't go through your legs. Like it's all there. If you don't have the basics, you can't turn that double play no matter how much you practice turning the double play. You got to practice the basics too. I mean, how many free throws did Larry Bird shoot long after he was a professional? He got to where he couldn't miss. Just crazy. I really appreciate Undemandin's question and Nikki Rock about the plugin because that is a like, okay, Joe, you've used stock plugins for years. What gives? Are you are you a sellout? Um, the thing that's hard is producing great sounding music. That's the thing that's hard, and developing the ear for what sounds good. That's really what I've been teaching, not how to use stock plugins, how to get great sounds. And so then the tools are interchangeable. Thank you for asking that because it helped me kind of think through it in a different way that I hadn't thought before. So thank you. That's good. That was helpful for me with my backwards fender hat on. Basics are still sometimes elusive. Oh, absolutely. And that's why I still have to focus on them too. Forgetful species. All right, y'all. The questions are slowing down, which is fine. I've been on for an hour and a half. If you were at the previous stream that just died inexplicably, um, happy to hang out and answer any questions you've got, but also happy to call it a day if we're done. Hey, Seth, do you have a favorite plugin for a good rocky Hammond B3 type sound? I don't anymore. When I For a while, my whole keyboard rig was Main Stage, the app for the Mac. That's basically all the Logic sounds just in like a software that you could just play. I would have Main Stage on a laptop with a keyboard and an interface, and then I would run audio out of that interface into my main interface. So I'd play it like a keyboard. I liked that a lot, and that organ sound was fantastic. I have since moved on from that rig because it's mostly complicated to have two computers for one. Um, and the last time I used B3, it was a friend of mine who has an actual B3 and an actual Hammond and an actual like Leslie cabinet. It was pretty great. Um, that's the best option. Though you're right, Johnny's right. The rotor tool in Studio One is great. I just haven't found a good organ sound in Studio One. I probably haven't looked very hard. There are plenty. I remember, I want to say the organ sound in Pro Tools, the default one they had was good. You could find one. But no, I don't know what they are. Or you can go the hardware route, get like Hammond makes their own physical thing. The stuff on the Nord, they usually sound pretty good. When are you reopening Dueling Mixes? Never. It has been closed for 6 years. It's gone, man. You should come join my current things. Link in the description. There are better plugins than what's available in the DAW, but it's good to learn how to use them before installing more advanced stuff. Yeah, I agree. Because then you can't really get much out of the advanced stuff, and you probably can't hear what the advanced stuff is doing yet. It's not offensive. That's just like you just haven't developed that hearing yet. Are you still recording live amp or from the computer or both? I use the Fender Tone Master Pro or the Helix. So it's it's a box on the floor that I plug into my interface to record. I really struggle to find a mix that sounds good on my phone and my laptop and TV and monitors and headphones and earbuds. And where should I aim? The thing is, when you listen on different systems, you're probably listening with the wrong ears. You're being super critical of your mix, but then you go listen to a Tom Petty song and it has the same exact problems. But you don't notice because you're not being critical of Tom Petty. You're only being critical of you. So there's a chance that it actually sounds fine on all the systems. It's just you. That's one option. Option two is you just haven't gotten great at balancing in your studio first. You can't quite hear the imbalances that are happening. You got to work on that more. Yeah, a real Hammond with a real Leslie whirling away is one of the best things ever. You know what? My wife doesn't like the sound of organ. That almost broke us up. The organs in GarageBand and Logic, yeah, they're great. They're weird. That's what that main stage was. It was the Logic sounds. They were great. Nord stage organs are amazing. Yeah. Have you added Gilder comp to your template? Hey Larry. I haven't yet. I haven't even added Gilder comp. Gilder. Almost like Gilder Cox. Gilder Fox to my template. Um, I just thought about that like yesterday. At least put it on the BGV bus and the vocal bus. But no, I haven't. I don't know if I will because it's generally like I want to use it. Oh, it might be good on the main bus because even on all the way down, it's not compressing, but it's adding some like tape warmth to the sound, which could be interesting just on the whole mix bus. Interesting. I'll get back to you on that, Larry. Yeah, Ben, I'm the same way. I've not found a great. Actually, you know what? Y'all remember the song I did "Go" the earlier this year? It's called "Set Apart," but then I changed the name to "Go." It has an organ that turned out okay, but I had to mess with it. I had to put the rotor on there. It was an organ, and the problem with yeah, it was an organ from Presence, and then the rotor, it was pretty aggressive on the rotor, with both like a little bit of grit and the spinny spin. But that actually ended up sounding fine. So maybe you just can't do like you can't do the drawbars on like a basic organ sound, in Presence. It doesn't give you the drawbars, which I think I don't use them properly half the time anyway, but it'd be nice to be able to dial that in. So have you grown out of your house moving phase and settled now? For now, I think so. Until the kids all graduate and then Pam wants to move to Florida. That's real. Appreciate your channel and all your work. Thank you, Akai Mana. Akai Mana. I record my family doing three-part harmony with a full band, but I struggle with getting a good balance between the three voices. Do you have any tips? Compression will help a lot. You should, this is so self-serving. Try my Gilderbox plugin, put one on each, get to where the compression's doing 5 to 10 dB of gain reduction, and then just make sure the frequencies are balanced. That'll keep them at a consistent volume. That may help. You also put them all into one bus with one plugin. That may work, but my guess is having one on each voice is going to get you a better result. My wife likes sitting on top of my Leslie speaker. She likes sitting on top of It's cool that you have a Leslie speaker. Those things are big and heavy. Have you run them into Tom? I don't know what that means. Echo. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. We're just hanging out, doing some Q&A. Anybody got a question? Florida, Boca. No, like we go to the Panhandle every year, usually. Yeah, every year. Like 30A. That's kind of where she wants to go. She doesn't like when it gets cold up here and rainy. S Town Productions wanted to personally thank you for your lessons throughout the years, Studio One especially. For hip hop, whoop, it just disappeared. They just disappear sometimes. Helped me perfect the craft. Also, pleasure meeting you at NAM 2020. Yeah, good to see you. You should come back to NAM. I should be there this year. I was there last year. We had a Studio One meetup. It was delightful. Johnny, you should come to NAM. Tell Fender to pony up and send you to NAM for real, or tell me who to email. I'm good at convincing them to do things sometimes. Yeah, Ben, getting it up. Does your stairway turn as well, like mine does? Yeah, getting a Leslie up there, you have to take it apart and rebuild it. Larry, I'm glad of that as well. Look, the sun's coming out. Yay. Let me check my phone. I lost my phone. I need to see if they've texted me about the tires. Found it. Oh, your vehicle is ready for pickup 33 minutes ago. Guys, I've been hanging out with you and it's been ready for 30 minutes. All right, I have to close it down. Let me answer those questions that came in, then I'll close it down. I'm having lunch today with Lidge Shaw. Anybody know Lidge from Recording Studio Rockstars? Yeah, that's fun. Time for bed in New Zealand. Good night, Heavy Kev. MPH says, any benefits to audio school? Why go there when there is your channel online? I mean, there are benefits. I went to audio school. There are benefits, namely that you get access to cool studios, and you get networking opportunities. So you get access to like gear and equipment and people that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. Otherwise, if you're mainly focused on just getting good at making music in a home studio, you can absolutely, it's kind of like, especially in this day and age, unless you want to be like a lawyer or a doctor, the school is great, but it's becoming, I think, less and less like a must do sort of thing. Like, for example, I went to audio school. They didn't teach me how to mix. I had to figure out how to mix on my own. That sucked. So now you could learn all these things and get really good at it from YouTube, from my courses, my programs. They're on sale, by the way. Link in the description. Go buy something. If you appreciate this, go buy something. Come support yourself. Um, but yeah, less and less of a reason to you can get similar or sometimes better. That's what I say is I think I can get you better results than most audio schools. I'm not against them. Just but I won't give you a big studio to go sit in either. So all right. What's for lunch, Mike? I think we're having salads. I think Lidge is a vegan or at least a vegetarian. So anyway, when in Rome. All right, y'all. Toyota Q&A is over. I'm heading to go pick up my car. Thanks for hanging out. This has been fun. I'll see y'all soon. How do I shut this off?